I'm Jenny Barnett Rohrs, your host for Hands On. Today, it's time to let people know how you feel. You and your best friend can celebrate your friendship with these tags. And today, I brought my best friend, my daughter, Bailey. I'm so glad you could be here with me today.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're gonna make these tags, and I'm gonna show you what you need, and then we're gonna walk right through it together. Are you ready?
Okay.
Awesome. So we're gonna need an airbrush kit and some propellant, some acrylic paint, some lacing, some little clips for your backpack. Painter's tape is really handy. And I love to use these recycled Formica chips from the hardware store. You know, if you ask, they will give them to you for free,
cool.
Which is kind of cool. And then you're gonna need like a paintbrush and some scissors. So you ready to get going?
Yep.
Awesome. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to base coat these chips, and we're gonna go ahead and put the tube into the propellant. You just twist it in. And now we'll get some air. Let's listen. Yep, we got air. So go ahead and put your base color in, and you just align the clip and snap it right in. Go ahead, there you go. Now don't forget to cover your work surface. There is a little bit of overspray, but this is acrylic paint, so it cleans up. Let's move this one on that side, how's that?
Okay.
All right, go ahead, give it a little base coat. So you notice that while Bailey is painting, she's using a light, wispy stroke going back and forth and overlapping. If you put it too long in one place, it kind of starts to run. So that looks really good. Go ahead and finish that up. And then we'll show you what it looks like after one coat is done. Awesome, thank you. Now, I'll bring this out of the way. You bring the other ones in, and you'll be able to see that one coat isn't usually quite enough to cover, so go ahead and give it another coat. These paints are easy to use because you just snap in the cap and you can have lots of different colors going at one time. And that's gonna come in handy when we move on to our next step, right?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. We'll set those aside to dry. And you can go ahead and take that color out because we'll get ready for the next color we're gonna use. Okay, so the next part, we're just gonna kind of prep this so that we can use our stencils on our tags. And to do so, we're gonna make sure that they are kissing together. Right? And Bailey, why don't you flip them over for me? We'll go ahead and tape them together because we want them to act like one unit, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And we're gonna use symmetrical stencils. Bailey, what does symmetrical mean?
Symmetrical means that it is identical on both sides, whether horizontal or vertical.
Awesome. So that just means that when we spray paint it, half goes to you and half goes to the other person. It still looks like a whole thing, even though it's only half. And we're gonna do this, you can either have the little holes facing up or facing down. It's kind of up to you how you want your dangle to go. And do you wanna do the turtle today or the butterfly?
How about we try the butterfly?
Okay, that's great. So now what we'll do is we'll take our stencil and we'll line it up. Let's put the little holes at the top. Go ahead and we're gonna line it up on both sides. Does that look about right? A little bit down more? Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we want to make sure that it's pretty much the same on both sides, right? And line it up in the middle. And don't forget, pick a stencil that is the same on both sides. And if you need to, go ahead and tape it down so it doesn't fly everywhere. Bailey, why don't you go ahead and, well, I'll snap it in for you since I'm right here, got it in my hand. And why don't you go ahead and start painting. So this is going to be a 2-color one, so we're going to just do a little swipe of color in the middle. There you go. A little more. There you go. And again, you don't want to be too heavy-handed with the colors because what happens?
Because then it starts leaking in under the stencil.
It does. It leaks under the stencil, and that's not nearly as much fun. So let's go ahead and now add the white for the outside of the rings. Great. And this really doesn't take a long time to dry. What do you think, maybe 20 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll set this aside and let it dry. And we have another one pretty much ready to go. Let's slide that out of the way. Because when you're done, you end up with something that looks like that. These ones we did for Bailey's old school colors. And what we're gonna do is get it started. Here's a little piece of tape for you and a piece of tape for me. And here is a piece of lacing for you and one for me. And these are what, maybe 24 inches long? It can be as long as you'd like it to be. But even them up and then find the middle. Kind of, you know, mostly. And now what we're gonna do is make a lark's head knot through the loop, which means you're gonna point your loopy ends, your folded ends go through like this. And then your tails go through the loop. It's the easiest knot you can make. I love it. It's my favorite one.
Okay.
There you go. Now while she's getting hers looped in, I'm gonna go ahead and tape mine down. This is just nice so that when you are crafting, you can tug on a little bit and it won't go like, whoa, sliding across the table. And what we're gonna do is separate the outside from the inside, and I like to use two colors because it really makes it easy to see. So put the yellows to the out and the purples to the in, and then use a little bit of tape to just loosely keep those purple ones down. It'll keep it easier for you to handle. All right. So to start off, we're going to take the one on the left and give it a little bend so it goes over the top of the purples. Then we're gonna take the yellow one on the right, put it over top of the yellow one that we just brought over, then slide it up under the purples and through the little bend so that it's giving the purple a hug. Isn't that cute? See, they're making hugs. All right, and we're gonna repeat that step, making that half hitch knot. If you alternate it, it will be straight, and if you keep just doing one, it's actually going to turn, which is fun. But when you've made it as long as you want to, we're going to untape the purple.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to slide on a jump ring. You got one over there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Slide on a jump ring. And then we're going to take all four of them back together again, you know, like it's one piece. And we're going to make a little loop and put the tails through, and that'll just tie it off. And you can make that pretty snug. So that way, if you want it to be like short for keys, or you can make it longer for your backpack, you have different options. Go ahead and just tie that into a knot. And then you are ready to give it to your BFF so that you are always matching and always keeping each other in your thoughts. Right?
All right.
Awesome.